Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm the Thesterninator, but my friends call me Stern, and today we are taking another look at our corrupted Pokemon ARG. This ARG has been focusing over the last 2 months at Porrico, a company that's been altering Pokemon for some unknown purposes, and I figure it's about time that I show my hand. You guys over on the Discord have been spending a lot of time taking apart different websites, different YouTube channels, all in effort to try and find out exactly what it is that Porrico is planning. This company has been utilized across the Kostawes region, creating various Pokemon amalgamations like Glowlurk, a Pokemon designed around energy consumption and conservation, Mentrattle, a Pokemon that looks at the ancient history of the region and what Pokemon evolved from those ancient sources, as well as Sporovine, a corrupted Carnivine, changed in a way that it's being used currently to guard some of Porrico's deep-held secrets. But of course, Porrico's greatest asset have been trainers and investigators like you, all wielding the Porriphone, which has been utilized to capture and catalog data that you have been coming across, given to you, of course, by Professor Sago, the region's Pokemon professor, a close compatriot to former Porrico researcher Isadora Bloom, who we've recently uncovered has been leaking information to the press, specifically Electa BuzzFeed. But with time, plans do change, and given the fact that these experiments have started appearing more in the public eye, I suppose it's time that we let you know what Porrico has truly been up to. Earth, steel, ice, all things made of nature, things made by the Pokegods themselves. As Regis moved and pushed continents into space, all at the whim of Arceus himself, it was decided that humans would use what we inherently have to create stronger and more powerful Pokegods. It was decided that what humans possess greater than any other multitude of creatures on the planet are body, soul, and mind. But where to get these aspects? Where to cultivate the perfect minds, bodies, and souls to make Pokemon that could rival the Pokegods themselves? Well, it was decided that we would make them. If we could make them, then we could form our own destinies, our own fates. These Pokemon could challenge Arceus, Regigigas, Dialga, Palkia, all of the creatures that create this Pokemon pantheon. And so the first obstacle would be creating the perfect Pokebody. Luckily, Porrico has been experimenting on various Pokemon bodies and abilities therein to create these odd amalgamations. We would use the technology and science learned through these experiments to create something stronger, more powerful than any other Pokemon in existence. And thus, this Pokemon was created. A sheer force built solely on the idea of power, of strength, would be manifested, utilizing blueprints left by ancient Kostawes people and creating Pokemon themselves that were, for some reason or another, abandoned in late stages of the design process. We would create something brand new. Using that technology, as well as the modern technology that we have now to perfect the process that they were working on, we could create Regis of our own. This one would be built solely of body, of muscle, of strength, so that it could challenge Arceus, so that it could challenge Regigigas. Its strength would outmaneuver and outpower any other that came into contact with it. However, this led to some backlash, some downfalls of this Pokemon. We gave it too much of a competitive drive. It sees every other Pokemon, every other human, as a challenge. It's not too perplexed with the idea of facing Arceus, Regigigas, or any of these others in the Pantheon, but more so wants to fight now. Regibron, as we've taken to calling it, is a force of nature. Currently, it is terrorizing Starella City. As we've said, it has been able to easily escape its confines. It's a fighting type, pure fighting type, with the new ability Body Lock as a hidden ability on top of its Clear Body ability. The ability Body Lock makes it so that this Pokemon is able to increase its speed with every foe that it defeats, not just in your party, but across the board. Failing to fight this creature means that it will only come in faster and stronger next time that you face it. We're currently looking at a way to capture this thing because all of our experience has led us to nothing as of yet. So at the moment it's currently devastating larger cities in the Kostawes area, but we believe that at Porrico we can eventually find a way to get this under control. Our next is a little bit more perplexing. Building it was no easy feat. We decided that we would utilize soul, that humans have beyond any other creature, to make a new Regi. But how to do so? Well, we would have to find a soul that had no body and no mind to contend with. This brought us into the Kanto region. In the Kanto region, there is this anomaly that we've dubbed Missing No. It is a Pokemon-esque creature that exists outside of the realms of what we understand Pokemon to be. We initially conceived of it being a soul with neither body nor mind, just something of a wandering spirit, and we figured that this would be the perfect blueprint to build our next Reggie off of. Being that we couldn't combine body, soul, and mind into a single Pokemon without the whole thing just imploding on itself, we decided we would create 3 separate and distinct Pokemon, more so to mimic the Reggie trio as it initially stood. So this Pokemon apparently builds itself out of the energy of those around it, more so the energy of those that have passed around it, building them into itself to become stronger. It resembles an overturned urn with spirit energy flowing out from where the lid is. As it does so, it apparently continues to zombify those near it, whether that be Pokemon or human alike. It does not discriminate between the two, turning them into a legion of followers so that it can continue on venturing out and holding more spirit energy within itself. Not a lot is known about this Pokemon. We know much more about Regibron given that it has a physical body and a physical manifestation to itself. This Pokemon exists on a completely separate realm, one that we did not anticipate or had any precedence to understand. It is very dangerous and highly volatile of a Pokemon that currently has been wandering around closer to the fallen forests of Umberfell. It apparently is drawn to the loss of life and energy within that area and seeks to restore it in whatever way it can. This is one that we've dubbed Regigool, the Restitution Pokemon. It is a pure ghost type and has the ability Soul Trap. This strange ability works much like a poisoning ability or a toxic ability, whereas when a Pokemon is in the vicinity of Regigool, it will begin to take damage, healing Regigool in the process. It's unknown how to stop this phenomenon from happening. It seems that antidotes don't do anything of the sort to fix it. It's not ailing the physical body as much as it is ailing the spiritual one, drawing life force from the Pokemon itself, as well as the trainer who may be unfortunate enough to be too close nearby. Its shiny has a more steely type of look to the urn body and a greenish glow to the energy signatures. The last of this new trio is one that harnesses the mental abilities. So this Pokemon was built using the mind. How were we able to do this? Well, we had built AI clones off of several trainers from different regions. We're not at liberty to say who those trainers are or how we were able to build this technology, but just understand that it has the minds of several very powerful trainers across several regions within itself. While it may look like it has one large mind, this mind itself is comprised of many, and its escape was uncanny to say the least. Whereas Regibron broke down its cell using pure strength, and Regigool was able to use its power and ability to merely float through the walls of the cell, this Pokemon did something very different. This Pokemon fooled the other researchers into believing that it itself was a researcher who had been trapped within the cell. While on our cameras it looks very clearly to be a Pokemon, to the researchers who were interviewed, they claimed that it looked very human. It was able to disguise itself using a version of illusion to make them believe that it was something else that shouldn't be there. These foolish and naive researchers sought to free their fellow scientists, and upon doing so, unleashed this Pokemon into the world. Currently, we're tracking its whereabouts, though it does seem to vanish and move quite quickly, even able to take its psychic abilities to damper our electrical signatures. So right now, we've been able to track it to an area called Enterre on the outskirts of the Kostawes region, where it seems much more happy to be on the coastal areas, floating rocks and attacking any who come too close. Happy may be an incorrect term, because these Pokemon, we don't understand that they could feel emotions like you and I do. Again, these are Pokemon, much less intelligent than us humans, which again is the reason why we had to build them in the first place, to ensure that Pokemon do not control the world as we know it. Humans should be the ones in charge. That's kind of been the entire premise of working on these projects. The CEO of Porico has put this out as a widespread belief system that all of us here at Porico, researchers and scientists alike, really fall under. However, it seems that the scientists who have encountered this Pokemon suddenly feel otherwise. They feel that Pokemon and humans should work hand in hand and be partner to one another, equals on the playing field of our Poke-Earth. We're seeing what we can do to fix that. But for the moment, this is Regimind. Regimind is the subliminal Pokemon, using its subliminal powers to speak with others in odd tongues, echoing throughout their minds. It is a psychic type and uses the ability Mind Grab. Mind Grab is a residual memory that it appears to have. Believing itself to be a trainer itself, as you battle it, it will pull nearby Pokemon to battle in its stead. It sees itself as a trainer, as a human. And that is what makes it the most dangerous of all. The fact that it believes that it itself deserves to be on the same standard as any other trainer, and has the power of your typical Elite Four member. Pulling in Pokemon like Poochyena, Simisear, and Simisage, other Pokemon of the sort that are usually weaker, and granting them intense power. Electa BuzzFeed openly tried to get a comment from Tarantorogian, CEO of Porico, following the powerful Pokemon was known. It's unknown where he believed that he is hiding out if home region of Kanto. But not to worry, Porico employees, fans, and trainers, because Dr. Prunella Plum was very quick to step in. She will be running Porico in the meantime while we attempt to seek out Tarantorogian and rectify this small issue of these three Pokemon terrorizing the region. Dr. Plum was pivotal in the initial acquisition of Porico by Tarantorogian in the first place, more so as a freelance researcher, but upon being taken into the program itself, she has become a vital asset to the community, and will be following up with these investigators shortly.
This place no longer serves a purpose. It no longer exists. And so I am here to bestow upon it purpose, the purpose of my life and my work.
So if you're interested in checking out some of the stuff that we've been doing with this ARG, head on over to the Discord. We've got a little group over there that's been kind of taking this apart piece by piece, week by week, with a whole Google Doc to kind of catalog everything that's been coming about with this mystery, and I hope that I'll see you there. The Discord will be found down in the description below, and you can now officially buy merch, which will be down in the description as well. Super pumped about that. So if you are a Porico enjoyer, employee, what have you, make sure that you grab your Porico merch down below. And with all that said, I guess I'll see you in the next one. But before we go, I want to talk about the art challenge that I've been doing weekly on our Discord. For October, I've been doing a different prompt every single week rather than every single day for Drawtober, and we have some absolutely phenomenal artists cooking up some amazing work. I know I use that term a lot, but it's 100% accurate. We've got some really talented people over there, and I want to show off some of their stuff. Like this one by Azaluna, and then BIF Skit. Not quite sure how to pronounce that, super sorry, but did these two Pokemon here. We have Blue Artist 246, who gave us a Knight and Damsel style Pokemon for these two characters here. Bugcatcher Kai, Key, not quite sure on that one, how to pronounce again. Crimbo did a really great Tarask, as well as DGO did this awesome little shielded dude. Empty Symbol did both of these Pokemon here. Empty Symbol streams, be sure to check them out. Esteban Pro XD gave us this awesome design. Evan the Frosty gave us these two designs. Evan did a ton of stuff. I could only fit two into the video here, but check them out. We also have Fazfright, who gave us this Knight. Firebug Frenzicle, who gave us these amazing two Pokemon. We also have Gabbers, who gave us this pen. We have Gym Leader JC with a rat. Hunter Giratina, who gave us this Pokemon here, and a Mega Evolution, as well as Isaac RSTOP, gonna get that wrong, super sorry, who gave us this 3-stage line. JT is another creator who did a ton of stuff for this prompt. Here's two of them that I included in here so far, reminding me a lot of the Tin Woodsman from Wizard of Oz. We also have Kirby the Frog, who gave us a little bug Rogue, Lavender Q, who gave us this bird Splend Crown, as well as Knighthood, Liam gave us an amazing Gildagon, one of my favorites, just because it's based on one of my Pokemon. And then these little cycloptic creatures, always a fan. Lucas hitting us up with this Samurai inspiration, and Obsidian Fox hitting us up with a 3-stage, as far as I understand, based on a couple different elements of kind of folklore and sorcery. And I was told that I got the name wrong last time, but this is Awesome Scribbles who gave us this Palisand. Regibert giving us a princess and a knight with this design. We have a Spectral Gauntlet by Salvarus, as well as Saturn Planet of Limitation giving us a Duck Watermelon, of course. Sunny D Not the Drink giving us Sholagon, very cool. And Wanderlaney hitting us up on the rear with this Pawn and Knight, very, very cool stuff. And not part of the prompt, but one of my favorite pieces of fan art I've ever seen, based on our last video where it was a collaboration with me and Febe, where we did a Twilight Zone inspired video. Regibert did this awesome mix match of images that I just absolutely love.